everyone, it's Anja here. I'm back with another video for Ophelia Talks, and today we are going to be making the headband that I took to Ireland with me, and I made it in King Cole Riot. It's a double knit. It's 30% wool and 70% acrylic, and it's in the color Funky, and it is for a 4mm hook. Now I always have to go down a size, so I use a 3.5 hook. Now this headband is made up of, first of all, a stretchy edge. So the start is a foundation single crochet line, so I'm going to show you how to do that in a moment. And the stitch is a mini bean stitch, and I really like the way it seems to slant, and yeah, I'm just going to show you how that is done. This is my seam here, I think, but I'm thinking, I think it's hidden enough for the untrained eye not to be able to see that, so I'm not worried about it. Okay, so let's get started. I always try and get my wool from the middle, and I did manage that here. And let me just show you how I get started for my foundation single crochet. You do your slip knot as usual. Insert your hook, tighten the loop, and then you are going to do 2 chains. So 1 and 2. Then you go back into the first chain, making sure that this loop hasn't sort of increased too much, and you pull up a loop. You now have 2 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, and you're going to do a chain in that first loop. So just pulling it through here, you are going to do the chain here. Now we are going to keep an eye on this chain that we've just created. You yarn over and you pull through the 2 loops on your hook. You now have 1 loop. You're now going to go back to that chain that you did just now and that you've kept an eye on, and you're going to pick up the 2 V's, so on the side the 2 loops, and you are going to pull up a loop. Once again, yarn over, and you're going to do a chain with that first loop, not using the second loop. And now we are going to yarn over, and we are going to, keeping an eye on this one here, pull it through to do your single crochet. So in essence, we are doing chain, single crochet, chain, single crochet, chain, single crochet. Okay, so we are going to insert into the chain, pick up the 2 loops here. Have I got them? Yeah, so picked up the 2 loops, yarn over, pull up a loop, and do your chain. Then, keeping an eye on this, you yarn over again and you do your single crochet. Go back to that chain that you've just done, picking up the 2 loops. Now, this does take a little while and it's slow. The reason why I'm using this is because when you do this, it will be stretchy. So this will have a little bit of a give. If you were to do this with a normal chain and then come back with a single crochet, it will be, you won't be able to pull it, okay? As it is a wearable, something that you're going to be wearing on your head, and that needs to have a little bit of a give. It needs to be having that stretchy effect on the side, just to make sure that, hang on, this is the way it is, just to make sure that it gives a little bit when you're wearing it, okay? Now, this for me took quite a long time, but that's okay. I just wanted to have this the right way. I wanted to have it stretchy. Okay, so let's continue. So find that chain on the side. So here you should have all V's running along. and you pick that up and you do your chain, then you yarn over again, holding on to this one, and you do your single crochet. And off we go again. So you keep doing this until you have 82. Now the main thing here is that it also has to fit your head. So once you've got your 82, wrap it round your head where you would normally wear your headband. Or if you have, like I've shown you in the video, let me just, I keep doing this, I keep talking. If you have an example, no, that wasn't right. See, look, make sure you don't do that, okay? If you have an example like this, you might just be able to make it just a smidgen smaller than this, okay? Because this will stretch over this. So if you have a board headband that you have, you can use that as a, sort of sizing. But if you don't, then do try it on your head. Now, when you get to your 82, that's when I will be back to show you what to do next. Now, when you have done your 82 foundation single crochets, or when you have the amount that you need for the circumference of your head, then you are ready to attach both sides together to turn it into a circle. So I've only done 21 stitches. I'm going to do 22. So you always have to have an even number of stitches. I'm just doing this in this way so I can show you more easily what it looks like. So what you need to do is to make sure that your strand that you've created is not twisted. So your top should be there, and then here this end should be at the bottom as well, okay? So you're working here at the top, there at the bottom. So next you are going to attach them. So first of all, I'm going to go back into where we've always been going in and picking up those two legs of that V. Then I am going to go into here, and that sort of opens up for me. That's okay, because we'll sew this in and then it will be closed. You go into there, making sure you have not twisted your strand here, and you are going to pull up a loop and pull it through the way you've been used to pulling it through, right? So that's connected the bottom. Now we are going to go past all this here and into the first V on the top, and we are going to do a slip stitch pulling through the two loops on your hook, and that has created my connection for my foundation single crochet in two locations so that it would stay together really well, okay? And then here, this one we are going to sew in, and that will just disappear, and that will also help in closing this up a little bit. So you now should have on top, you're counting your V's, and you should have an even number, okay? Go one down rather than one more if you need to. So I now have 22 V's on top of my work. This would be a headband for a Barbie probably. So we are now ready to start the mini bean stitch. So we're going to chain one, and then in the first stitch you're going to insert, pull up a loop, yarn over. Then you're going to insert in the same stitch, pull up a loop and yarn over, and again into the same stitch, pull up a loop, yeah, and then you yarn over and you pull through all the loops that are on your hook. Chain one. So skip a stitch, into the next stitch, you go straight into it, pull up a loop, yarn over, into the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, into the same stitch, pull up a loop. You now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 loops on your hook. Now you yarn over and you pull that yarn through all the 6 loops on your hook. And that's the mini bean, chain one. Okay, into the same stitch 3 times with yarns over in between, and you pull it through, chain 1. Let's try that again. Skip, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull that yarn over through the loops on your hook and chain 1. So this is how you're going to continue, and this is what your work should look like. There's like a diagonal one running here, and then you've got your mini beans at the front here. Don't forget to do your single chain in between, and of course I am nearly at the end of my round because I'm only doing a small sample piece. You will have to do your whole length of your circle, of course, and you have to make sure that if you have 82 foundation single crochets like I had in my proper headband here, you're doing 41 mini beans. So I am nearly at the end of my round. I am just going to do my last mini bean, and I should have 11 of them because obviously I've only got 22 foundation single crochets, but you should have your amount or more, but half of your single foundation crochets. So here we are at the beginning, and I'm just going to go into there and do a slip stitch to finish my round. Now you do a chain to start the next round. And then I am going to use this little space here, right next to that bean, to start doing my next round. There we go. Okay. And as you can see, there is this little opening everywhere. So that's what I am going to be using. So I've chained 1. Straight into that little opening, and you do your 3 insertions with your yarning over. And I keep sort of with my finger here, I keep the loops back on my hook so they don't fall off. There we go. And as you can see, yeah, it's getting really thin, but in the end it should be fine. As it changes color, it will get a little bit thicker as well. So this is how you are going to continue all along, doing your rounds, finishing them with a slip stitch and going into that little opening here that's right next to the mini bean. There we go. See? It looks a little bit scraggly, but by the time you're finished with it, it should be fine. Now here, I did 16 rows. So I did 16, going round, and then I just finished it. I didn't do an extra round at all at the top, because if you then go and add something to it, it might not be so springy. Now I then wove in all my ends, and I was planning on putting it over this, so to give it a lining. I bought this headband in Mountain Warehouse. And I was planning on sort of sewing it in, but that didn't happen before the trip. I might still do it now, but to be honest, I was warm enough without it, so I might just keep using it without. Now, I hope this video was useful, and I hope that you liked it. Please do like, and if you know someone else who might enjoy watching my videos, or this video in particular, please do share it with them. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!